Now, the overwhelming majority of popular and successful video games are released after many months, perhaps even after many years of hype, with marketing aggressively intended to get as many eyeballs on them as humanly possible. But this seemingly never-ending PR cycle surrounding a game can also be pretty bloomin' exhausting, to the point that players are tired of hearing about a title before the time it actually releases. And so, it's enormously refreshing when an awesome game arrives totally out of nowhere, without even the faintest shred of hype or anticipation from all the usual suspects. And that's what we're here to talk about today, as I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 incredible video games that came out of nowhere. Number 10. Outer Wilds. As if releasing the same year as a much higher profile AAA game with a very similar name wasn't bad enough, that being Obsidian's The Outer Worlds, Outer Wilds wasn't exactly the easiest game in the world to market, owing to its rather unconventional premise. You see, the game unfolds over the course of a 22-minute time loop as players explore a planetary system destined for oblivion, and though this proved enticing enough that developer Mobius Digital was able to secure publishing support from Annapurna Interactive, its initial release was still relatively muted. After all, Mobius Digital had only 2 little-known mobile games to their name prior to this, but once reviews hit and players began to take a chance on Outer Wilds, its success swiftly snowballed far beyond anyone's wildest expectations. As a refreshingly subversive take on the open-world formula, Outer Wilds emphasized the thrill of discovery above, well, basically anything else, fitting for a game which itself was such a joyous and unexpected find in 2019. Number 9. Blueprints. And now for the most recent entry on this list, we have Blueprints, a devilishly clever puzzle game with endlessly inventive roguelike elements as players explore an ever-shifting mansion in pursuit of its elusive 46th room. Blueprints, which was quietly released last month, was developed mostly solo by Tonda Ross over an 8-year period on a shoestring budget, with production primarily being funded by a Magic the Gathering fan site that he operates. Ross evidently didn't have much money to spend on marketing then, and so Blueprints had incredibly low visibility until the week of release, when the review embargo lifted and it received near universal rave reviews. At the time of press, Blueprints has a stonking 92 Metascore, tying it with the immense Claire Obscure Expedition 33 for the best reviewed video game of 2025 so far. That's an astonishing result from a game that just about nobody had heard of even mere weeks before it came out, while also serving as a testament to Ross's outstanding work on every aspect of its execution. Number 8. Vampire Survivors. Roguelike shoot-'em-up Vampire Survivors was launched in late 2022 following an assuming period of early access which began in 2021, and to take one fleeting look at it, there seems to be absolutely nothing even remotely special about it. Between its basic mobile game-esque visual style and its almost suspiciously low $3 launch price, it was easy to quickly dismiss the game as yet another of the thousands of also-ran titles releasing on Steam every single year. But Vampire Survivors swiftly picked up some serious traction thanks to both strong reviews and its popularity with streamers. Its wildly addictive bullet heaven gameplay loop, combined with a ludicrously low cost of entry, made the game a barnstorming success overnight. And beyond becoming a sales juggernaut, it also went on to shock the world by winning the BAFTA for Best Game. Evidently, you don't need massive budgets, a large team, or even particularly appealing visuals in order to deliver a hit game when it's just that damn satisfying to play. Number 7. Portal. When Valve announced that their Orange Box compilation would include a new puzzle game called Portal, few were expecting much from it beyond being a mildly cool, fleeting diversion from the real meat of the package, that being Half-Life 2 alongside its 2 episodic follow-ups and, of course, Team Fortress 2. But this intriguing bonus unexpectedly turned out to be one of the big highlights of the Orange Box, a devilishly creative physics-based puzzle platformer which has ultimately had more cultural staying power than either of the Half-Life 2 episodes. Almost 2 decades later, Portal continues to be heralded as one of the greatest video games ever made, an outcome that few, if any, anticipated when the game was announced so casually by Valve. That they surely knew that they had a stone-cold banger on their hands and yet still sent it out as a mere added value piece in the collection is the sort of modest pro-consumer brilliance that we sadly kinda see little of today. Number 6. Dear Esther. Dear Esther is a game that waded out of the mist and into our hands in early 2012, an experimental story-driven adventure from little-known developer The Chinese Room, which hit storefronts without much in the way of hype. But the game, which ultimately went on to popularize the walking simulator genre as we know it today, generated a significant amount of discourse post-release, as reviewers debated its artistic merits and whether it was actually really a game at all. It's a stance that seems somewhat daft in 2025, because spoiler, this is definitely a game, but in 2012, this minimalistic 90-minute trek around the Hebridean island was positively radical, eschewing conventional gameplay in favour of exploring the island while listening to a man read letters to his deceased wife. This was a provocative breath of fresh air that paved the way for an entire subgenre of like-minded titles, and nobody in their right mind could have possibly seen that coming. Number 5. Rocket League. Rocket League is a game that just about nobody was aware of until it was announced to be launching for free on Sony's PlayStation Plus subscription service. Developer Psyonix was a small team without the coffers for a sizable marketing spend, but striking a deal with Sony was the smartest choice that they could have ever made. This compelling fusion of football and racing looked fun to the casual observer, though would have likely struggled to find its footing in the sea of other competitive multiplayer titles had it launched for a typical retail price. Being instantly available to the millions of PS Plus subscribers tore down conventional accessibility barriers and ensured that Rocket League became an overnight smash hit totally out of nowhere. Players couldn't get enough of the easy to pick up, difficult to master gameplay, and this success was replicated when it launched for other platforms. Even almost a decade after launch, Rocket League still regularly racks up around 30,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. That's a phenomenal result for a game that, despite its brilliance, could have so easily disappeared after a matter of months if circumstances were any different. Number 4. Limbo. The early 2010s were an absolutely revolutionary period for indie games, with the uptick in digital distribution platforms making it easier than ever for small dev teams to put their work out into the world. And that period saw the likes of Braid, Super Meat Boy and Fez reinvent what indie gaming could be, each arriving without substantial hype or marketing. And this is also true of Playdead's minimalistic horror puzzle platformer Limbo. Limbo was released on the Xbox Live Arcade service in July 2010, with few anticipating that it would be anything but a neat, atmospheric indie horror romp, but it ended up scoring some of the best reviews of the entire year, getting within spitting distance of AAA behemoths like Super Mario Galaxy 2, Mass Effect 2 and Red Dead Redemption. Within a year of launching, Limbo had sold well enough that Playdead were even able to buy themselves back from their investors and operate independently, after which they developed their arguably superior follow-up title, Inside. Number 3. Golf Story. Golf Story was the sort of success story that every indie developer dreams of. The golf-themed RPG launched on Nintendo Switch in 2017 to little hype or initial fanfare, but benefited enormously from rave reviews and fantastic word-of-mouth from players. To the surprise of just about everyone, Golf Story soared commercially, even outselling the Switch re-release of Pokken Tournament DX during its first month on release, and enjoying a rather lengthy reign as a bestseller on the Nintendo eShop. For a game with a core development team of just 2 people, it's an astonishing result, to say nothing of the game's incredibly charming writing and aesthetics, as well as its tight, challenging golf mechanics. While the overwhelming majority of indie games don't enjoy quite such success, which is a tricky fusion of great timing, skill and a hefty splash of luck, Golf Story did provide refreshing proof how a tiny game can be propelled to storming success. It's just a shame that developer Sidebar Games' 2022 follow-up Sports Story was just an pretty much abject disaster. Number 2. Telltale's The Walking Dead. By the turn of the 2010s, graphic adventure games had declined massively in popularity, and though Telltale Games assuredly flew the flag for the genre with the episodic adventures like the Sam & Max series or Tales of Monkey Island, Back to the Future and Jurassic Park franchises, these games were all overwhelmingly niche. When it was announced that Telltale were working on a new game based on The Walking Dead, there wasn't really any reason to expect much different, another strictly for the fans offering which would remain a cult favourite at best. But The Walking Dead's first season in particular was a majorly unexpected mainstream hit. Its emotional story and well-written characters allowed even those entirely unfamiliar with the franchise to enjoy a standalone story. The result was a game which not only became a sales juggernaut, but also nabbed numerous prominent Game of the Year honours, in turn firmly establishing Telltale as the king of the modern adventure game. Well, for a time at least. And number 1, Undertale. And finally, what could this list possibly be without Undertale? Toby Fox's solo-developed RPG could have so easily been just another retro-styled indie that quickly faded into the periphery. Yet, the deadly combo of charmingly weird writing, a unique combat system, and the general encouragement to spare enemies rather than kill them helped Undertale stand out in a crowded genre field. Though Undertale released in 2015 to little initial hype, it quickly whipped up a furore thanks to its rave reviews and its popularity among streamers, and it likely didn't hurt that Fox also priced it at a mere $10. This created the perfect storm for Undertale to become a genuine pop culture phenomenon in its own right, not only selling millions of copies, but building a community of passionate fans. Nobody, not even Fox, could have predicted that Undertale would have made the impact that it did, nor that it would demonstrate such potent staying power that it remains one of the most acclaimed and discussed games of the past decade. Not bad, right? And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 incredible video games that came out of nowhere. Hope you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. And while you're there, why don't go over to Instagram and Blue Sky and follow me over at RetroJ, but the O is a 0. You can check out all my nerdy Warhammer stuff. I'm such a greasy nerd. Hope that you're treating yourself well, my friend, with all that love and respect that you deserve. Go out there and smash your life goals today, because I bloody believe in you. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.